Welcome back to Sports Gambling Podcast Network's NFL draft coverage. Today we're doing a profile on Tetairoa McMillan. I'm going to give you 3 strengths, 3 weaknesses, and 3 player comps for McMillan. He's 21 years old, 6'4", 195 pounds, out of Arizona, born in Hawaii. He's in 2024, he had 84 receptions, 1,319 yards, 8 touchdowns, and 15.7 yards per catch for the Arizona Wildcats. Three strengths. This guy's got a volleyball background, so his not only his leaping ability, but body control and his contested catch is George Pickens-esque as far as high pointing the ball, knowing when to jump for the ball, but just being able to float in the air and have amazing body control. When you look at it, one of the things that the corners, the combine said that a lot of his routes just look the same. So he has a good way of disguising his routes. And for a big guy, he's not just a straight line guy. You see him running essentially a full route tree, running all over the field, whether it's across the middle, double moves, things like that. Huge size and body control. We didn't see him run the 40 at the combine, and unfortunately, there's no video evidence somehow of his 40, but supposedly he ran under a 4.6. We're going to the weaknesses. Some of the questions about him are his top-end speed. Is he more of a big slot than he is of an outside receiver? How fast is he at the top end? We didn't get to see that, and like I said, I don't know how in 2025 we don't have video evidence of that. Wilt Chamberlain's 100-point game and Tet McMillan's 40 will remain the unseen, unrecorded things of time. One of the questions and concerns about him is his love for the game. He was very nonchalantly eating food on a live stream or doing an interview and said, I don't really like football. I don't really watch football. I don't like watching football. And that throws some red flags. A lot of people were concerned, and some people came to his defense and said, listen, not everybody loves their job. Not everybody, there's plenty of good players that didn't watch football. But just the way he said it was a little different. He's talking about how, he does watch his routes and his tape with his coaches, but it's not something he necessarily does on his own. And that is a concern when you talk about a guy that could be going as high as number 4 in the NFL draft. So we'll see. I still think McMillan goes high, but, we could see him go anywhere from as high as 4 or as low and, see him in the 20s. Mel Kiper has him going in the 20s in the NFL draft. I don't see that happening. I think he's going to go in the first, 10 to 15 picks, most likely, 10. I think he'd be a great fit for the Jacksonville Jaguars. You look at it, Liam Cohen and James Gladstone just had James Gladstone and them worked together for the Rams with 2 number 1 receivers. Then they were on the Bucs. Liam Cohen is familiar with Mike Evans, who is a big, tall jump ball receiver on the outside. Would be very interesting in that offense if they had McMillan on the outside with, Brian Thomas moving around, doing a lot of stuff Chris Godwin did. I think it will really open up that offense for Jacksonville. But you could see a lot of other teams where he'd be a good fit, whether it's the Raiders, whether it's the Jets, just a lot of different teams. The Patriots and the Carolina Panthers. They need a good young number 1 receiver. So I just think there's too many wide receiver needy teams. Not enough receivers in this draft, especially not enough number 1 receivers in this draft for him to go any later than that. So this is the Tet McMillan episode. Check us out. We have 20. We're going to do 30 profiles and 5 other videos. We're also doing mock drafts. So make sure you subscribe. SportsGamblingPodcast.com.